Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mastering the Craft of Coaching. My name is Rachel Friedman, and I am your host. If today is your first time listening, thank you. That's all I wanted you to know. Thank you for taking time out of your day and taking this moment to listen to what I have to say. And I want you to know today's episode is actually going to be a collection of insights, thoughts, and shares from many of my clients. So instead of having them all on the podcast at once, which would be very hard to do, I've taken clips from client spotlights and blended them together in this amazing episode for you. So if you're curious what it's like to be in and part of the Live Your Dharma Coaching Certification, today is your lucky day because these amazing humans are going to give you lots of insight into what it's like to be a part of this container, where they were at when we first started and where they are now. And my only hope for you is as you listen, as you absorb their wins, is that you can see a piece of yourself in them. That I truly see you just like I see each and every one of them as success already. Whether you ever decide to work with me or not, I hope that the words you hear on this podcast, the inspiration you get from other coaches helps you, propels you, and creates momentum for you in your coaching skills and in your business. So without further ado, I'm going to dive into the very first clip and let you get a little taste of what their experience has been like. So, Tanya, tell them a little bit about when you joined the program, a little bit, almost 6 months ago. Where were you at with your coaching? How did you feel?
I felt a little, it's like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear it a lot. I'm not really sure I know what I'm doing.
Right. But I mean, I want to coach, but I don't know what I'm doing and where I'm going to find these people who need my help,
Yeah.
And
oh, sorry, keep going.
and I was like, okay, so, but I'm like, I want to learn more about my I want to learn more about um, my what do you call Dharma, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
your purpose.
yeah, my purpose. I want to learn more about my purpose and how I can help, So, yeah.
And what would you say right now? How are you feeling? If you had to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and what number would have you given yourself 6 months ago?
Like a 4.
And
A
what
4.
would you say now? How do you feel about your coaching right now?
I feel amazing. I don't know. Oh, oh my gosh. I'm like, I feel amazing. Really, I do. Because I, I, and it's like maybe it's a few months that I was like, oh, um, I need, self-coaching. I need self-coaching. I need support for my peers.
Ambra, tell them a little bit about some of the challenges you were facing before we worked together.
Yeah, I feel like I came to Rachel because I would have these like massive messages from my clients, and I would just feel so overwhelmed. Like there are so many things that, I want to talk about, and I would just look at that and be like, how do I navigate this? This is all so, I was just spiraling and overwhelmed, and I felt like I just needed someone to point me in the right direction. And yeah, so I feel like that was where I was at. I was not really, I would say in those moments, obviously that was self-doubt,
Yeah.
you know. Um, so I think those are the main things, like overwhelm and self-doubt.
Yes. And I want everyone to hear, obviously, I'm pretty sure I've told Ambra this, but like it's so normal, right? Because like certifications provide us with, I mean, there's so many great certifications out there. So I'm not going to talk down to any of them. I mean, I've done some really great ones, but a lot of them don't teach you, like, you get like the foundation, right? But then what happens, and it is so common for a client to come with like literally 5 pages of thoughts, right? Like 5 pages of like circumstances and situations and just stuff. And then it's like, of course, our brain is going to go into a little bit of fight or flight, a little bit of overwhelm. Like, oh my God, how do I help this person? It just feels like so much. It feels so heavy. And yeah. And so that's what our work was, right? Is learning how to, I call it the problem decoder. So like being able to look at all the problems, zone out, right? To then zone in. So, Ambra, what was the results like of us working together and helping you kind of grow your, like, I want to say your confidence, because like I think you're already a pretty confident coach. I think you're already an amazing coach, but like to really help like ground you in the ability to like really tap in and trust in yourself and that you know your shit.
Yeah, I think like honestly, first off, like the coaching sessions were amazing. At the end of the day, like I would be able, she would just ask me simple questions like, what are the patterns? What are you noticing? And then, by just asking such like a simple question, I was just able to see things. I was able actually like take a step back and be like, okay, I don't need to be overwhelmed by everything. I could just look at a couple of things. And then from there, it kind of gave me that trust. And like, look, I don't need to like fall into the whole client story, right? They can just share everything. And it's my job to take that step back and pick out the patterns. And just that simple, like word of advice that she gave me just stuck with me. And Rachel, you're gonna love this. I've not even told her this. I offer a messaging coaching, like in between sessions, right? I think some clients do boxer coaching, whatever. I use WhatsApp. And I would spiral and overwhelm. And what used to take me an hour, can you not love 15 minutes yesterday? Yeah, so good.
Yes, that okay. So this is clearly like this is what we want, right? Because otherwise, what happens is like I don't know about you, Ambra, but I know I've heard it from other clients. I know I used to feel this way, but it would be like almost like as much as we wanted more clients and we wanted to fill our program or a full container, it's like there's this like resistance because we want it, but then we feel so drained by the current clients that we're like, we start spiraling like, oh my God, how am I going to have the energy? How am I going to have the capacity to hold more? Like we want, like maybe we want it and we don't want it, right? And it's like, so that kind of tug, the universe, like the energy is like a mismatch. So then of course we're struggling with like, why am I not creating more clients? But
Oh my
when
God, sorry.
you shorten that timeline to only 15 minutes, then you're like, okay, I can totally handle all the clients.
Oh my God, can I just piggyback on what you said?
Yes, of course.
Right. Like if you want to grow in your coaching business, like you need to have the energetic availability. It's like, yes, you want, but like the universe will only give you what you're handling. And it's like, oh my God, you can't handle all these clients. It's like, of course, I'm not going to create that. And I was listening to something and like the universe really wants you to thrive. And so if it gives you all these like clients, now I'm like, oh my God, like I can handle, like if someone, I feel like I've gotten so good at like managing my thoughts, managing my feelings of overwhelm, that if like 10 clients came in this month, I'd be like, yes, I have that like capacity. Oh, I swear, like I have that capacity to deal with them. And yeah, it's not about like never feeling overwhelmed, but it's just about, okay, breathing through, taking a step back. Like she said, she taught me like, look at the patterns and then that's it. And so like my replies used to be so long. Now they're like so concise. And my clients just replying me like, oh my God, Ambra, I love this perspective. This is amazing. And let me tell you, like she walks the talk. So is it walks the talk? Whatever. Talks the walk.
I'm
Walks the talk.
so glad I mutilate all those things. So that was perfect.
There was this one time, Rachel, she is like just as dedicated to her craft. So she was having a sore throat and she couldn't speak. And I was like, Rachel, I really need your help. And so we were both committed. I was like, I'm gonna be there at 12. She's like, I'm gonna be there even though I can't talk. And like she literally just typed like maximum like 10 questions. I would say just max, like super simple. And I just got everything I need. And I feel like as coaches, we tend to think that, we gotta ask them super complex questions and explain concepts all the time. But that's not always necessary. We don't always have to teach. And like she really highlighted the power of asking powerful questions. And in those moments, because she wasn't able to talk, what I realized is the power of silence, right? Just asking a few questions, letting the client really think. And there we go.
Oh my God. That was such an amazing experience. I have to be honest. And I told Ambra, like, I had never done a coaching call without my voice. I've lost my voice before, but I've never done one. I've always just canceled. But I think it was going on like day 5. And I was like, fuck this. I was like, felt okay. I just couldn't talk still. And it was awesome. It was like, such a great experience for me too, to see that, oh, wait, even if you don't have your voice, you can make it work. Like you can type. And I love that holding space, that was that experience for you, because I think even for me too, it was like, it reminded me of the value of just holding space for another human and how powerful it gets to be. Yeah, that was pretty cool for me too, Amber. I'm not gonna lie. First.
Yeah, we talked about how this is such an amazing experience, and just like honestly, like having a coach, like I mean, whoever's listening to this, you're a coach, like love being coached. Like it's the best thing ever. And yeah.
I love it. So Ambra, I know that recently you've had like some amazing celebrations, because I'm all about the celebrations. Anyone who's ever worked with me knows like that is like something I definitely took me a while to practice myself, but now I do, and I really encourage everyone. So since like, like for you right now, what is like something that, like, would you say tangible or intangible, that have happened for you?
One, right? What we said, like when they send me these long messages again, like I don't go, like my first thought process is not to spiral into overwhelm, which I kid you not, you guys, was something that happened to me all the time. Like, and I'm like,
so good.
I'm so much more calm. I'm like, I've got this. And the time in which it takes for me to reply messages is like massively shortened. And just like I end up like once I'm done replying to my clients and all these messages, like I feel okay. Like I'm not like that took the life out of me. Like I need a half an hour break. Like I'm good. I'm ready. I'm like, great. I'm an amazing coach. Let's fucking go. Who's next? Like what's next on my to-do list?
Oh my God. I love that. I'm an amazing coach. Let's fucking go. What's next? That is what every coach, like seriously, whoever's listening right now, if you're a coach, that is exactly what you need to embody, to like literally like not just create results for yourself, but like create results, help your clients create results.
So Charmaine, I'm curious, since that last comment you said is I gave you some coaching and you were like, I want to coach like that. Do you remember like what it was about that coaching that like stood out for you? Because it's been a couple months, so it's okay if you don't.
Right. Well, I think what stood out to me a lot though was, first of all, like what I love about your approach specifically is that you're just really good at being very like holding space for me and being very non-judgmental, like just very like I feel like I could talk to you and easily be willing to share what's really on my mind, because I just feel like it's safe. Like you do a good job of just making it easy to talk and feel safe. And I feel like you're able to hold a neutral space really well. And then, you just helped me see a perspective that I never had before. Because it was about my own, like, I think, I know you coached me on several things, but the one that's standing out for me a lot was when you coached me on like weight loss, like my own weight loss journey and my own issues with body image. Because I think since I'm a weight loss coach, I would never want to admit that I needed weight loss coaching myself. And when I actually felt, first of all, safe enough to share it with you, because I rarely get coached on that, because I have a yeah, I would have blocks around that. So I wouldn't want to admit I needed coaching on it. So I felt safe enough to share my thoughts around my body with you. And then you helped me see a perspective about my body that I never had before. So I think that's what really helped me be like, oh, wow, like, I want to learn how to do that. Like, I want to see how to coach in that way.
Yeah, I love that. And so would you say, I mean, I know we're only about halfway, but are you kind of feeling like through the program, you're kind of getting like pieces of that and being able to now start to apply it?
Right. Like, well, what I love about your program, first of all, it's very, like what you said, it's very like implementation focused. And I also love that it's very focused on regulating the nervous system. Like those are things that aren't really emphasized in other coaching programs I've been a part of. But you're very good at helping us actually practice skills. So one of my favorite calls with you, especially like when we first started, was when you had us do that exercise on like trying to find out what was the truth and what wasn't true or something like that. Like we just kind of had to tell the difference, like what's the truth and what's the story, and just like reiterating that and like sharing with everybody, like, oh, what was actually true and what's the story. Just like being able to practice those things in real time is helpful. And then also you have a lot of tools that we could practice. Like you have a lot of modules and resources, but the live practice was really helpful. So I feel like I've been doing more peer coaching since I joined your program too. So just having that container where we're really encouraged to peer coach was helpful. And it helped me really just be more grounded in my calls and really focus more on the other person and not because you do so many grounding exercises. So I'm a lot better at being present during the calls and being a little bit more curious rather than having my own thoughts and agenda.
I love that so much. So that was going to be my next question, is how do you feel like it's actually impacting your coaching? But I think you kind of answered it, right? Like you said, being able to be more present and more grounded. And yeah, guys, I am all about the grounding. I think that's because personally I need so much of it myself.
Oh, me too.
I am
anxious. Yeah.
Yeah. I am like in Ayurveda, which is like the sister science of yoga, they call there's like these things called doshas. So you have 3 doshas that are basically your body composition, what you're made up of. And I'm very Vata. And I think you probably are too, Charmaine. You're probably Vata Pitta like me. And Vatas are very like airy, and they can kind of be like, and it's like, so we need a little grounding. Keep us on planet.
Yes, that would be helpful. I mean, that's why I really benefit from just, I mean, I love that you start each call with a grounding exercise, and it does help me just stay focused on the present moment with the client and not be so stuck in my head. That's what's different from your program from other coaching programs. Just that's the hardest thing for me in a coaching call, like really not being in my head. I mean, it's like, I know intellectually I have to focus on them, but during the call, I don't know, I get so many judgments and assumptions up in there that it's so helpful to be centered.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for being so real and so vulnerable, because I think like we all get in our heads, people. Like just because you're a coach and you have lots of tools does not make you less human. Even myself, I have to sometimes like on the calls, like notice, oh, there I go again. Let's come back. Like, it's like, right. And it's like, I think that's how we grow. And that's why I think you're such a beautiful example of like, when you're willing to put in the work and do it, what can happen? Because, it's like when we're not willing to be vulnerable and open, it's like, I don't know. It just like limits us from also, I think that's what helps to create that safe space, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's what you do now for your clients, right? Like, of course, they have to feel safe with you in order to share like that, like, let's be real. If someone is wanting to lose weight, I think you probably agree with me, Charmaine. There is emotional pieces to that. It's not just what you're putting in your mouth. Like, why are you putting that in your mouth? And literally, it's like you are treating yourself like probably like shit under the layers. And it's like, we got to create a safe space for people. So it's like, by you being willing to be vulnerable and open and share like all of this, like that creates such a safe space from within you for your clients.